Hey there, we are doing just account update on this 250K account that I'm trying to grow to 1 million. And I'm sharing all my trades as I go along and showing you guys evidence of like how I do this. Today is just gonna be a quick video because I'm headed out on vacation. I'm going to Europe for like a month. Woohoo! But I just wanted to show you where I am with this. The account is like retracing in a nice way. We're almost at 241. We had bought a bunch of leaps originally in February time when the market was sort of like at a high. And so we're using a lot of those leaps for diagonal spreads. And I said at the time it would take 3 months or something like that for these to start showing positive if we were in a great market. What ended up happening, right, is that we weren't in a great market. And April came along and did a little spoiler on our plans here, but that's okay. Because the market is bouncing back, and even if it hadn't, there still would have been a way to make money on those diagonal spreads over a period of time, of being like 6 months. So here we are, it's almost 6 months. Like we got another couple months before it's 6 months before these guys all turn to the point where I've kind of recaptured the amount that the leaps could have gone down, if that makes sense. So here we are. This is what the account is looking like. There's two notable things that happened this month to me anyway, that as a trader, I changed things up a little bit. And one thing that happened. So one of the things that I did was I started trading Palantir in this account too. And you'll see right here that I have a put credit spread. And then I have a leaps contract that I've purchased. And my goal with that leaps is just to buy and sell, buy and sell. I'm not trying to turn that into a diagonal. The other thing was that Ionic really took off. Really took off. So I had to manage that trade. So it used to sort of trade sort of with a high of like $30. But it often trade in sort of like the 22 to 28 range, something like that. And then boom, 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 boom. It took off to 47, something like that. After they announced that they had acquired another company. Okay, so that can happen. That can happen with these new growing companies, and we always have to be aware of it. So I've had to back up trade my heart out on this to get myself into a really good position, and I'm in one now. So, but that took a fair amount of management. Yesterday, the price on Ionic dropped a little bit to 39, so I used that opportunity to buy a bunch of shares because I disassembled some of the call credit spreads that I had going on with that and made those into diagonal spreads. Wow, super cool. So let me take you over there and I'll show you the Ionic history and maybe you can piece together what I've done. Okay, so here's my trade history on Ionic up until 6.2. Right now we're in pre-market for 6.3, just so you know. That's when we're recording this. Basically, you see me buying a bunch of shares. This is something that I do intermittently on these stocks that have lots of calls on. And then you'll sort of see me sort of dismantling these. I was assigned on some Ionic calls, which is fine because I had bought those shares below this cost basis that I sold them at. And I don't know, if you're really good at options, you can maybe figure out what I'm doing here. It's the point of this video is not for me to tell you what to do. It's just to show you this works. Okay, this works. If you want to join my program, you can. I will show you how to do this. Okay. So this is kind of like going back in the history of Ionic. You can see I've been fairly active. I think our last video was somewhere around here. Is that right? Okay. And then I'm going to go take you over to Palantir to just show you what I've been doing there. Okay. So we're going to start with where we started on Palantir. Okay. So, here we have some calls that I bought. Okay. And then I'm selling out of these calls we bought. So I bought one for 31.60 and 19.45. Then I'm selling these for 34 and 21. So making like nice little profits, just swing trading essentially these leaps, which I love to do, especially on a volatile stock like Palantir. It offers a lot of opportunity for that. Then we have another one, buy leap, sell it. I'm looking for just like simple 5% gain here when I do this. And then we've got some put credit spreads right here, 944, 115. Woohoo! That was an amazing little profit there. I don't know, that one is not closed out yet. And then we've got some other calls that I bought. I think those are still out there, maybe, potentially. Yes, they are. So I'm still waiting for those to go up. I probably wouldn't always put diagonals on Palantir because it's so volatile, and rolling it in and out can be, it's hard, it's easy to get stuck on a stock like Palantir when you're trying to do diagonals. That's why I'm not a big fan of doing that on a stock that is as volatile as Palantir. I could probably take you over to my other trades right now. I'll take you over to Apple just to show you what I'm doing there, and it's just trade management. But I'm not going to show you like every trade in the account today because I think you guys have sort of seen enough of that to know that like what I'm doing. But mainly on the other stocks, I'm just doing trade management. Okay, so Apple has stayed sort of in the same range, and it's nice. It's nice. Okay, so I do want to talk about this though. I got a dividend on Apple. So I just wanted to mention that one of my reasons for being a fan of selling covered calls more than selling cash secured puts is that you can collect dividends. And it really does add up. It does add up. Like when you collect these, I've collected them on other stocks too. So that's just something to be aware of, okay? And so you can see here, I'm just managing calls. I'm just rolling calls. When I see Apple at a really good price, I'm just buying more shares, okay? That's all I'm doing here. And man, I'm rolling out my puts. Like this 240 put, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like roll that out all the way to Christmas to take in a bunch of premium right there. All right, so that's kind of what I've been up to with Apple. I'm gonna take you over to Walmart because I just remembered there is some interesting stuff going on with Walmart. Okay, so with Walmart, I think, I'm not sure if this was covered on the last video. What ended up started happening is that Walmart retraced to where I bought these shares. And so, and I'm selling just out of the money covered calls on them, just out of the money. So these shares are being taken from me at like sort of the 97, 98 mark as I'm selling calls, and those are getting taken away from me. And I'm just fine with that. You guys know I'm just fine with that. So that's happening with Walmart. So, I'm really liking the way that this trades. Oh, guys, again, another dividend. You see what I'm talking about? So the other one was like, what, 104, and this is 164. So, I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. And I'm glad I'm not just selling cash secured puts because that actually would have seen me get assigned a little bit. And that would have been okay. And then maybe I would have gotten the dividend, but who knows for sure, right? Okay, so again, this is kind of where we are right now. I'm taking a break for a month and I'm not going to be recording anything else. So I'll probably catch you guys back with a review of this count around like July 15th-ish, because I'm getting back on the 4th of July, and then I can't say I'm going to rush back to do this right away. I'll probably need a week to adjust, and then I'll give you guys an update then. So stay tuned.